Okay, you can start now.
So hello everyone. Today we're doing a group presentation about the business challenges and the appropriate solution to resolve them. Next slide. So here we have the table of content. This is what we will be covering today. So there's the first challenge, Corona beer coming ashore. The second challenge, Mr. Conan O'Brien YouTube video. The third challenge, the consolation of the annual retreat. The fourth challenge, the rise of the stop work action. And the fifth challenge, online controversy between Corona employee and customer. So the reason why we're doing this presentation is because to show Ms. Alexander Smart what we have learned. In addition, it is also to showcase our analytical skill and understanding of the crucial role of business communication, which are important factors for Ms. Smart to determine whether or not to offer us a position at the Corona. And now I would like to pass this on to Nathan.
Thank you, Nate, for your introduction. And without further ado, I would like to address our first challenge, which is the Corona beer coming ashore. So this neutral report is basically an internship report where we are tasked to inform and address certain issues that has been assigned for us. In this case, we're asked to provide a case study report on Corona beer. So the context of this memo has been sectioned into three distinct parts. So the first would be the relationship and structure of the three companies. One, Constellation Brands, two, Corona Beer, and three, the Grupo Modelo. And the second part is the revision of Corona's advertisement campaign, Coming Ashore. And for the third and final section is the financial analysis of the marketing campaign and the impact of COVID-19 on the financial results for the year as a whole. The business communication solutions that's been used is the memo report. The reason that this was the most effective solution is because the memo report aids in helping the readers identify and understand certain information on specific matters. In this instance, since we were tasked with providing an overview of the corporate structure, marketing campaigns, and the financial impact analysis. So overall, the internship report allows us to better understand the company and its culture. Of course, as an intern, by having a background and understanding of the company and the challenges it's facing would definitely prove to help us during our internship period and to fit in better. Now, moving on to the second challenge, which is regarding the confusion of Corona beer and the coronavirus. So this confusion has greatly affected the sales of the company. And to add gasoline to burning flames amidst the pandemic, Mr. Conan O'Brien, who is a YouTuber, he has decided to publish a parody video in goodwill, which was meant to entertain people. And despite this, some of the viewers began to have misunderstandings with the content in the video. And to address this issue, the business communication solution that's been applied is the persuasive indirect, whereas the content of the letter is simply offering Mr. Conan O'Brien an in-person meeting with the vice chairman of Constellation Brands to further discuss the issue regarding the contents of his video. This solution was appropriate because since Mr. Conan O'Brien is the rightful owner of his video, which also, of course, generated millions of views. And our objective here is to negotiate with him into removing his video, which of course has significantly affected the sales of Corona beer. And by reaching out to him formally and providing him offers as well as benefits, it would generate great interest so that he may be open to having an in-person meeting with our chairman, Mr. Richard E. Sands. And that is my part done. And I would like to hand the floor back to Niet to continue on.
So, and now moving on to the third challenge, the cancellation of the annual retreat. So why is the annual retreat canceled? So like usually at the end of the year, there is the annual trip that was planned at a 4-star resort at the Lake Erie, but due to the impact of the ongoing pandemic, the company made a decision to cancel the annual trip because they want to make use of the time and focus on creating a new advertisement to raise the publicity of the company. So the business communication solution that used here is the bad news format. So the bad news format is used to write a letter to the HR director. So the bad news structure follow BRBC, which B stand for buffer, R stand for reason, B stand for bad news, and C stand for closing. So why was the solution most appropriate? So the solution was most appropriate because the structure of a bad news letter allows us to deliver our bad news while still showing our appreciation towards our employee for their hard work and effort. And in addition to that, through the structure, we were able to provide a brief yet clear explanation as to why we cancel our annual trip in a way that the employee will understand and be less disappointed. Moreover, it also like at the closing, it also gives the employee something to look forward to. As we mentioned that we promised to bring back the retreat once everything became stable. And that's all. Now moving on to the next challenge, the rise of the stop work action. So following the last challenge, the cancellation of the retreat did not go well as some employees believe that they have been working hard in resolving the current issue and they feel like the cancellation of the retreat is a punishment. So the company was put into a very challenging situation after employees threatened to engage in a stop work action. So the business communication solution used here is the persuasive direct, which is used to write a letter to Jill, who is the leader of the stop work action. So the persuasive direct letter structure follow DRGC, which is directive, reason, and goodwill closing. So the letter was intended to ask Jill to stop her action because it will affect her reputation as well as the company image. And this is an appropriate solution because Jill and I have been friends for a very long time. Therefore, I have the ability to influence her directly. And additionally, unlike Mr. O'Brien, she worked for the company and has a stake in the outcome. So it is better to communicate with her directly about the problem rather than indirectly. And that's all I have to say. And I would like to pass this on to Rick.
Thank you, Nathan and Ian. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. First, I'd like to thank professors for his time and efforts throughout the semesters. And without further ado, let me begin by talking about the online argument between the Corona's employees and consumers. What is the motives behind their argument? I presume that all of you know the answer, right? COVID-19 is the global pandemic that caused global political and economic turbulence. And although there's no link to the coronavirus, there's no links to the coronavirus, it shares the same names and render confusion through the misinformation, online misinformation, the online misinformation that lead to the public assumption that the coronavirus is associated with the coronavirus. Therefore, it's prompted online argument between the employees and customers. As some employees use offensive languages, as retard refers to customers, in order to refrain employees from using social media during working hours and stop them from engaging in online argument in any forms that they identify themselves as the coronavirus employees. the coroner's management has issued the instructionals direct. The director's instructionals memo deems the most appropriate business solutions because it effectively delivers directs from leadership to employees. So this contains a format of the D, R, and G's. D mean directives, and R mean reasons, and G means goodwill closings. So now let's come to the end of my presentation. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you. Mr. Nathan will take the floor, please.
Thank you, Rich, for your presentation. So throughout our internship period, we have been tasked with solving a number of business communication challenges. And of course, it has been a great experience that will help us grow as we look to continue our career, whether it's in Constellation Brands or elsewhere. The first insight that we've received during our internship period is being able to identify business problems while providing solutions for each problem at a professional level. The second and the last insight that we received is essential human resource management skills. In particular, our third and fourth challenge, which involves the cancellation of the annual retreat that led to the stop work action with the HR department, has taught us that there will always be setbacks in the company, but what matters most is how we properly identify and address the issue while also keeping in mind the best interest of the company and the employees as a whole. And this is the end of our presentation from Team Law number 1. And I'd like to thank Niet and Reach for their hard work, not just on this project, but for throughout the whole semester. And of course, thank you, Professor Diana, for all your efforts in teaching us. And have a nice day.